welcome back to the Geek View. This is Quincy and Jeremy, and we're here to talk about season 4, I guess, volume 1, episode 3, and episode 4 of Stranger Things. Dude, that was a mouthful.
Yeah, what do we call it? Just Stranger Things?
Season 4, volume 1, episode 2. And,
do we need to say volume
4.
1? I mean, I'm assuming everyone already knows.
Well, what's really funny is that I guess there wouldn't be a volume 1 and 2 if they release it July 1st. It's funny because I have a lot of friends that work at Netflix on LinkedIn, and I always wonder, I was like, oh, was that a marketing decision to do that? And was it done by the Duffer Brothers, or was it more so done by Netflix, you know?
I feel like this is the Netflix decision in order to test out like longer engagement.
Yeah, I mean, well, Stranger Things is still number 1. I mean, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, of course, which we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. Like, anytime a song gets played on like a viral TV show, like it stays number 1 for a really long time. Like they did that for Neverending Story, right? In the previous season for Stranger Things.
Stranger Things has been known because of its worldwide audience to kind of make those ripples in viralness because they're just that good. We're here to talk about episode 3 and episode 4. So episode 3, we do see 11 kind of get captured, and then they talk to her about getting her powers back. Do you remember watching Heroes, Jeremy?
Oh, the TV series
show? Yeah.
I didn't really watch that show.
Oh, well, the funny thing about it, no, I mean, that's fine. But the funny thing about it is that the two main characters, the good guy and the bad guy, just got so overpowered that they had to like figure out how to like nerf them. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And I feel like maybe that's what happened with 11. 11 just it was so powerful that they needed to nerf her. You know what I mean? Because it was like, oh, damn, she's so powerful. She just took out the Mind Flare. You know, she closed the Upside Down. So maybe they needed to nerf her like they do in all video games.
No, I feel like they nerfed her already, like in season 2, whenever she ran away, right? Whatever episode where she ran away to be with those
oh yeah,
that
and
gang.
Then, number 6 actually was like her Jedi, like her Obi-Wan, right? And then speaking of Obi-Wan, her Obi-Wan, and then taught her how to control her powers to make her stronger.
Yeah, I feel like she was underpowered there, and then I guess they decided to just take it away completely.
Well, yeah, episode 3 of Stranger Things volume.
Okay,
1.
we just say episode 3. Like it's getting tiring to
I like it.
You like
Season
saying it over
4,
and over and over.
Volume 1.
Welcome to Stranger
3.
Things season 4, volume 1, episode 3.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like you're citing like an encyclopedia to me every time.
Speaking of encyclopedias, right? Like Joyce and her encyclopedia, like her job is to sell encyclopedias, right? And I thought it was funny because I mean that's actually very relevant to the episode because she talks about the Britannicas and how like, oh, we're gonna visit them in Alaska, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I mean, who would have thought that?
Yeah, but isn't that like a MLM kind of thing?
No, I mean, I think it's hard because, you know, back in the days, people used to sell vacuums door to door. They used to sell knives door to door. And then they used to sell encyclopedias door to door.
Oh.
That just was the new way of, maybe it is an MLM. He still make money, though. I mean, they still make money.
Did she make money? It sounded like it was a hard job.
Well, I like how Elle, you know, in episode 1, she narrates and she says, oh, Mom, Joyce gets to work from home.
Yeah.
That was way too funny.
Like the joys.
Yeah. So actually, and the episode 3 was really all about Joyce and Murray because that's when they, you know, kind of decide to pursue this lead that Hopper is alive. And, you know, they are asked to bring, I think, $40,000?
40,000, 40 grand.
That's freaking crazy. I mean, I don't even know where Joyce got that money, but
it was like a life savings thing.
Oh, and I guess she used it to save someone's life, right?
Because like the Russian knew about it in the first place because Hopper told them. Obviously, the Russian guy knew exactly like where to get the 40,000 from. Like that's a very specific amount, $40,000.
Right.
It was why 40,000? Why not like aim higher for like 100,000.
They knew they had that money, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Joyce and Murray, they go on their adventure, and Stranger Things has always done a good job of kind of carrying these storylines all the way through and then making it all kind of come together at the end, right? And that's what I think, we can expect when we go into volume 2. But this episode 3 specifically covered Victor Creel, and they talk about the history of Victor Creel and how, he was part of kind of all these mass murders, which caused Nancy and them to kind of go into the research mode, right? Do you think it mattered that Robin and Nancy didn't get along in the beginning? Like, it was kind of like, it seemed forced to me, but I don't know if that was...
about season 4? Wait, what are we talking about?
Episode 3. So episode 3, they go to the library, right? And so when they go to the library, like, Nancy acts very irritated by her. And then, Robin's all like, I'm not the one who... Yeah, she's like, me and Steve are not together, right? Because, and she doesn't talk about her being a lesbian, but she's all like,
it's like a big taboo, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like she was saying in one of in episode 1 too, it's like she said, if she comes out, right, she's gonna be kind of martyred for the whole school year, right? This also is when Lucas kind of defects from the basketball team. I mean, of course, we know his loyalties is with the Hellfire Club, but he actually kind of leads them astray, right? And then kind of goes into Hawkins, because the hard thing now, actually, when I think about it, 3 and 4 actually had a lot of things going on.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how it is for all of these episodes, right? Even 1 and 2, there was a lot of events going on with the introduction of the Vecna and his curse, as well as the introduction of Eddie and the Hellfire Club.
Well, so I mean, of course, you always expect the first few episodes to kind of set the stage, and so now episode 3 and 4 has a lot of.
I think we're past that point of like everything being set up, because this is like the 4th season in. I think everything is already setting up, so that's why it feels like things are accelerating a lot quicker than usual. Like if you compare this one to the first season, right? That one was like a slow burn, right? Because they're introducing the world, they were introducing the new all the characters. The settings, the Hawkins school, and 11 itself, like that took a long time to like kind of develop. If you think about it, it really was like last 3 seasons was just them developing 11's character,
I know,
and her powers, and then taken away.
They did a good job. She was like the most likable character that came out of Stranger Things. I mean, everyone else was good, but then I feel like Millie Bobby Brown really became a superstar after she played 11. In this episode and episodes leading up, we do see that Max is also joining the investigation, with Steve, and then of course with the rest of the team. And then she finds a connection that her the other 2 students that had died also was seeing the counselor. So she does say, I know it's summertime, but can I see you? And then she's trying to find out exactly why these deaths may have occurred. And, that was after, of course, the second person had died. And once that had happened, I think that's when the rest of the gang went into this kind of investigation mode, right? And they were looking for Eddie because I think they wanted to see if Eddie was, innocent or if he was guilty. And then...
Wait, I thought they found Eddie already, no?
I think they wanted to prove Eddie's innocence. I'm sorry. That's what they wanted to do.
Oh.
They wanted to prove Eddie's innocence and then figure out like why Vecna was going after all of these people. And
it's a funny thing. It's like you're going to the situation and like the first thing you want to do is like, there's this demon from another another dimension is killing people, but let's go and prove this guy's innocence by capturing or defeating this monster.
Well, figuring out. I mean, that's what they said, right? It's like the only way.
But how I don't understand. I guess it's like it's such ignorance. It's like, how is that supposed to prove Eddie's innocence?
That's the cool thing about Stranger Things is the fact that this whole little town, right? All these crazy things kind of happen, but then like people know it's strange in Hawkins, Indiana, but it's all like people, just move on with their normal lives, like nothing really happened, and the only people who know what's going on is these kids, right?
And the federal government, apparently.
Yeah, and the federal government. And so episode 3 ends with, of course, Lucas kind of finding the gang over at the high school, and then we find out that Max has the same symptoms as these other students, and the ones that had recently died, and they even timestamp the amount of time that she has left, and then when they have the headaches, when they have the visions. I was gonna say that Max does have the countdown, which kind of spurs into the next episode 4, right, which is titled Dear Bill.
Dear
my
Billy.
favorite episode.
Your favorite episode?
My favorite. I bet you it's everyone's favorite episode.
Not my favorite episode.
Well, okay, wait. Well, everyone knows that we already watched this. Anyone who's subscribed and watching the channel knows that we've gone way past, these episodes that we're kind of covering. But
I'm pretty sure most people have already watched all of the episodes already.
2-3 times.
Yeah, maybe.
But what was your favorite episode then?
My favorite episode?
If it wasn't Dear Billy.
I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite episode in this season.
What? Who are you?
Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite episode at this very moment. I think I was just waiting for the final, for a really big confrontation this whole time. But it just ends on a huge cliffhanger. I mean, I guess that's to be expected, right? Because it's only there's still 2 more episodes left
of the season.
Yeah. So I guess I'm really just sort of just waiting until the last 2, and then I'll probably find my favorite episode, because that'd be the
episode 4 is definitely the Game of Thrones of episodes for me for Stranger Things. Because it's so good. And so episode 4, of course, continues on with Max, of course, having the visions. And then we kind of go into this whole, and honestly, I know that Nancy and Robin go into this side quest of visiting Victor Creel to find out okay, well, how did Victor Creel survive, right? They're talking about how he survived Vecna's curse. But I don't care about that.
You don't care any about that?
No, I mean, it was a cool kind of
isn't that the biggest plot twist or plot turn of
tie-in? I mean, there's a plot tie-in, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, plot tie-in.
But all that mattered was in this episode was Max, Sadie Sink.
So was that the reason why episode 4 is your favorite? Is because of the fact that they play Kate Bush running up that hill, and it's
when you think about the cinematic setup, you have the favorite song, right? Max's favorite song, right? We say, oh, hey, it's Max's favorite song.
By the way, I've seen a lot of people talking about that, and then all they've come to realize is they don't have a favorite song that could save them if they were in the Vecna's curse.
I mean, obviously mine would be just a Carrie Underwood song. It would be super
Which easy. One? Which Carrie Underwood song? It has to be the most favorite one.
I think it would. My favorite song, I think, is "See You Again."
You again?
See You Again.
Oh, See You Again.
Well, what would be your favorite song if it had to save you? Obviously. Never mind.
My favorite song? See, I've been literally since the episode came out, I've been thinking about it. It's what would be my favorite song? I have a lot of songs I like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's how do I pinpoint the one that I absolutely like the most?
Well, see, that's another thing too. Okay, not only is it your favorite song, but that means if you're hypnotized or if you're under a curse, you're pretty much incoherent. So that means that every other person would have to know your favorite song too.
I'm sure people could find out easily.
No, I mean not yours apparently, but I mean, Lucas had to find. Luckily, Lucas was there, because if he wasn't, then I don't think anyone else, like Steve or anyone else, would have been able to get her favorite song.
I still don't understand why it had to be music that saved her. I never really got that plot point.
They didn't. You watched the Nancy and Robin when they went through Victor Creel's house, because Victor Creel had said that before he was about to die, he heard the sound of an angel.
Yeah,
it was his favorite song that was playing, right? But even prior to that, when they were talking about the psychology and the dissertation and all this psychological stuff, they were saying that, and that's why they in that music room, in that room with the music. That was everyone's favorite room, because their songs would play, and they said music had a way into the unconscious, and that's that's why, episode 4 set it all up perfectly.
Sounds like a lot of Deus Ex.
there was a lot of accusations that, you know, Stranger Things did come from another story, like someone had originally written it. But
really? I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge controversy, huge like lawsuit. If you look at the show Stranger Things, it is kind of like a Frankenstein version of a whole bunch of things put together, right? Like Victor Creel is the original Freddy Krueger, and of course Vecna does seem like Freddy Krueger. You know, Vecna also comes from Dungeons and Dragons, so I feel like they're just piecing together a lot of different lore and a lot of different things to make this whole Stranger Things story.
Well, the thing is, okay, the thing about Vecna though is that he's not really Vecna. That's just what they're calling him, right? Because the group is influenced by D&D, so that's how they associate him as Vecna. But obviously, we learn later on who he really is, and he's not actually Vecna.
Yeah, but I mean, do you feel like in that case,
that makes a lot of sense to me, because it's like you're gonna associate the unknown with things that are relevant to you, right? Things are familiar. So in this case, they're associating the unknown monster with a creature that they find similarities with, right? Who happens to be Vecna because of D&D.
I feel like that's a cop out, because you don't really they don't really have any original ideas. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they created like a name for this monster. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't have to have a name, right? The name is names can be monsters or people can have like different names from different people or different regions.
Okay, so Vecna is a name from D&D, right?
Yeah.
Borrowed.
Well, the characters in that show borrowed it.
Right. So they borrowed.
It's not like the monster's calling himself Vecna. That would be different. It would be different if like the monster himself was like, hey, I'm Vecna and I'm gonna kill you all, right? As opposed to they're just calling him Vecna, right? It's the same with the Demigorgon and the Mind Flayer. They're all just drawing influences from D&D because that's what they are. That's what they know. That's what they're comfortable with.
Do you think something like that's original?
Yeah, that's fine. That's completely. It's got nothing to do with originality. The originality part is the creation of the monster. We obviously find out later on in the later episodes the backstory of this creature called that they're calling Vecna.
Yeah, but the creature was actually based off of Freddy Krueger. That's what they said.
You mean the design?
It was a little bit of a twist because Freddy Krueger like kills you in your dreams, right? This one he kind of like
but Freddy Krueger has knives. I mean, he literally kills you.
Well, no, he doesn't literally kill you. He kills you in the dream.
Oh, I don't even know. See, I thought he was just like a person that stabbed you with his fingers.
He could do that if he wanted to, or he could drown you.
Isn't that what Freddy Krueger does?
I mean, he's a little bit more creative than that. I mean, I've seen all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I mean, he just uses creative ways of kind of killing his victims, and then whatever happens in the dream kills them in real life. But
then if that's the case, then you could also argue that Freddy Krueger was not original.
Freddy Krueger's totally original. He's not based off of anything.
You sure? He's not based off of any other influences?
I mean, I would say so.
What about the Sandman?
The Sandman's not a bad man.
He can be viewed as a bad man, as a bad creature. He kills people.
As a bad man.
Batman.
As a bad man.
I mean, I'm not saying that Freddy Krueger isn't original, but I'm saying based off like how you argue it, you could say that Freddy Krueger, he's probably based off of some idea, loosely based off some other person's idea, and twist, or not twisted, but tweaked so much as a completely different ideas. That's how original ideas form. That's how new ideas form.
Well, it's so funny. Is like, I'm so glad this is recorded. I'm so glad it's being publicized, because I would rather people be like, oh yeah, like people chime in and be like, oh yeah, Quincy is saying something original. Like, something creative is like, I mean, when you think about Lord of the Rings, is that based off of anything?
Yeah, it's based off of a lot of things. Tolkien was a historian and a linguist. Literally,
so there's no original ideas.
No. I'm not saying no original ideas. Original ideas is just not how people normally define them, because original ideas can be something that's just based off another influence, right? But the originality comes from you're taking that idea and you're changing into something different. Okay.
Well, so we do have to put it out there to the universe and see if the If there's fans, I'm like, see if the fans agree.
Because the same thing could be said for every modern series, right? Even Marvel, all the Marvel stuff, the comics, right? Also,
some of them are pretty original.
Like who?
Cyclops seems pretty original.
Shooting lasers from his eyes.
Or how about Phoenix? Phoenix is pretty original.
Psychic powers.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm. No, but that's the point I'm getting at. It's like you can keep going further and further back. There's always some sort of influence, right, that affected that character's.
What about Dracula? Dracula, is that not original?
Dracula was based off a real person.
Okay. So there's we're saying to me no original ideas.
I'm not arguing that there's no original ideas. I'm simply saying with your argument, you could simply argue that there's always an influence from other people's interpretations of either fictional or non-fictional works, right?
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. But there are original ideas. So that's why I'm saying, this creature in Stranger Things, their version of Vecna that they're calling it, is also another original entity. Okay,
let's just say he's original then.
Okay.
Back on topic. Episode 4, by far the most cinematically crafted. Everything from the flashbacks to like the letters. Like we all get set up that this is kind of like Max's last hurrah.
So you thought like there was a chance she was going to die?
I mean, a very slim chance that she could have died. But,
okay.
You think about it. Okay, there's 2 seasons left. I mean, I feel like if people did see her die, they would have been outraged. They would have been like, oh
yeah,
my God.
That would have been awesome. That would have been like something else. That would have been shocking.
Yeah, so I'm glad that she did make it out. And I'm glad they set it up the way that it did, right? Where she had to use not only her favorite song, but she also had to use the memories of all her friends and everyone that she ever knew, and like all the good times, and that kind of knocked her out of the whole like, oh shoot, like I'm gonna die.
Yeah. I honestly, do you feel like there's like too much plot armor going on?
I mean, there won't be much plot armor after season 4.
Why is that? What do you mean?
Because it's the last season.
What do you mean the last season?
The last season is season 5 for Stranger Things.
Yeah, so we're on season 4.
I know. So I mean, with every passing episode, there's gonna be less and less plot armor.
No, but that's assuming. So that means you're expecting someone to die at the very end.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My theory is correct. You can time this.
So I have to wait till season 5 in order to find out.
And then everyone come back and be like, oh yeah, Quincy was right.
Maybe it's 11.
Oh, I mean, well, didn't they say this is her final season?
Yeah, but that can mean a lot of things. It doesn't mean she has to die.
She'd just disappear, write her off. Bye, 11.
Yeah.
Write you off.
She could have a happy ending. Usually, a lot of these shows end on a happy note.
The hard thing is, without 11, would the show be as good?
I don't know. That's a question for season 5. Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought Max was gonna die, and then it made the most cinematic moment in the history of television for 2022.
For Stranger Things.
Not just for Stranger Things. I know that season 4 of Ozark is. I still got to get there, but I don't know if there was anything significant in that season that would top Stranger Things. I think this is the moment. Like,
what about all the Marvel stuff that came out? Those were pretty cinematically like. Big.
I mean, Spider-Man was 2021, so.
Doctor Strange.
What happened in Doctor Strange that was very pivotal? Oh, I guess all the Illuminati. That was okay.
Well, not only that, but he took over the dead, right? He fought Wanda, right?
Is that all like cinematically impressive?
Yeah, they traveled through the multiverse.
Like when the Red Wedding came out. When the Red Wedding came out, so many reaction videos, so many people told me about it. Like, I didn't even have to watch Game of Thrones to know that it happened. Like, I think those are the things where people are like,
that was like probably the most shocking event in television history.
Except when Stranger Things episode 4, season 4, volume 2 came out.
Season what? Say that again.
Season 4, episode 4, volume 1. came out.
Okay, that's a little bit out of order.
Yeah. But the way they set it was so great. Max wrote letters to every single person that she cared about, and she started divvying those out, and then her confrontation with Lucas, and then they used it during the capture when she was captured by Vecna, and then using Billy too. Like all that stuff was really sad. Like it was such a tearful moment in television.
I think I was more like, okay, let's go. How does she survive this? How does she live? Let's see it.
You were on the edge of your seat watching it?
I was you know what? I think all of that really came in the later episodes.
You mean after episode 4?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, I think all of that like reaction came out after in the later episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to get there though.
We'll have to get there. That means that you have to like, subscribe, and watch. But just know that episode 4 will knock your socks off if you haven't watched Stranger Things. If you have, then check back weekly for all of our episodes. We're gonna cover the rest of the episodes for Stranger Things, Volume 1, Season 4, and I guess we'll see you next time.
That's still out of order, but yep.
Okay. But yeah.